So, the Dandy's World 2025 Christmas event has come and gone, and with it came some interesting changes and some cool new things. So, was it even good? Was it a flop? Let's talk about it. First, let's cover the tune changes, since those are actual things that will affect future gameplay even past the Christmas event. First, let's talk about Ginger. She was the tune that changed the most for sure. Her previous ability worked identically to Cosmo, but had a longer cooldown and longer range, which basically made her better than Cosmo in every single way that mattered. Not only did her stats make her a good extractor, she could heal from really far. Even the long cooldown wasn't an issue, because if your team is good, people won't get damaged too much before your cooldown returns, making her meta and basically kicking Cosmo into oblivion. Her new ability now costs 100 tapes like Sprout. It has a much shorter range, and you need to hold the ability button for about 3 seconds before the heal goes off, but when it does, it'll heal the target to full health. Personally, I love this change. Giving her a more potent heal that is short range and takes time to apply is a great way to set her apart from other healers, which was the main critique against Ginger before her rework. She was too similar to Cosmo, so of course this rework was a huge success. Yeah, the community blew up when it was first revealed. To be fair, when we first saw it, we didn't have the information we have now of its low range and time to trigger. We only saw the tooltip, and from the description, it just looked like Sprout power creep. But even after the rework went live and we got to test it, almost 50% of the members in the Blush Crunch Discord tried to vote for her to be reverted. Which is crazy, I thought everyone hated the fact Ginger was basically Cosmo too. And now that she has a cool ability of interesting strengths and weaknesses, people want it reverted? But yeah, I think Ginger's rework was a huge W. Some people try to claim she's useless because she can't heal distractors when they're in danger, which, skill issue, or that she can't gather tapes as efficiently as Sprout because she's slow, which is true to some extent, but people forget machines also give a ton of tapes, and she's faster than Sprout at extracting. She gains most of her tape influx by doing machines and picking up items on the way, not like Sprout who hoovers the entire map before even thinking of extracting once or twice. She's different from the other healers now. She fits a different niche and has her own strengths and weaknesses that differ her from the others. You're allowed to not like her, just like you're allowed to not like any other tune for any reason, but claiming she's bad is just factually untrue. She's fine, and her rework was a success. Now to Bobette's changes. At first, if I'm being honest, I was kinda disappointed when I saw the Bobette changes in the teaser. Her gift barely changed, only getting a bar over it, and her ring also only got a new effect. I decided to wait to get my hands on it before judging, and boy am I glad I did. What seemed to be a pretty minor addition to the ring actually ended up being more impactful than anyone could have predicted. With something as simple as a lingering aura and movement speed boost, Bobette became the core piece of a new kind of distracting called Solar System Distracting, where Bobette spins around a 2-star or lower distractor to constantly give them a permanent speed boost. And even outside of Solar Distraction, Bobette now has some really solid support potential, helping people escape and get around quickly. Her boxing ability is still a little annoying since Twisteds can still camp it and stuff. I hope it gets a small update later on, but for now it's fine. Bobette is great now, she's no longer the worst main, and that makes me happy. Cole also got changed. Her cooldown got reduced. Was this enough to make her a good tune finally? There was another brief drama before the event came out, although I doubt I can call it much of a drama. It barely lasted and people got over it pretty quickly, but it's the fact that we didn't get any new tunes this Christmas. Personally, I don't mind this. It would be kind of odd for a Christmas tune to appear out of nowhere. Regular tunes appear out of nowhere too, kind of, but it feels different for events, since the events are all about the 4 holiday tunes coming back from hiding and throwing a party. There being one missing in the first year would be super strange. Besides, as Quell herself said, the holiday tunes only get their holiday in the spotlight, so giving them all the attention they can get is good. And also, if the devs spend less resources making new holiday tunes, that's more regular tunes we get. And personally, I'd rather us get more regular tunes that are available year-round than special holiday tunes. So yeah, it's fine we didn't get any new tunes, especially since we got other stuff to keep gameplay somewhat fresh, like our next topic. The event also brought a new Christmas map, as well as the return of the old map. The old map is the same as last year, so there isn't much I can say on it, it's good. The new map is also pretty great. I've never been annoyed when playing on this map. The machine placements feel fair, and the little iced over segment is cool. There are lots of circling spots and variety since it has 4 distinct segments instead of being one big blob of rooms that all look similar. You have the meet and greet room, the ice floor, the middle ground, and the bakery, and of course, tucked behind a corner is the lore room for Bobette, something we didn't get last year. In the new lore room, we got some new Bobette lore, and I say new with heavy quotations, since it basically just reiterates what we already knew from last year if you paid attention, as I covered in my Bobette character analysis. I'm conflicted on this. On one hand, I like that finally more people get Bobette's problems, but on the other, I feel like it could have been handled more tactfully. The video is great, but the paper on the other hand is a bit on the nose. Anything more obvious would have Bobette show up, turn to the camera, and explain it herself. But it's fine, at least people know Bobette's steal now. The video is peak though. There was also a new floor hazard added with the Christmas event. Iced over floors are when the floor freezes over and your characters slip around and become harder to control. At first I really disliked them, they were annoying, but after the adjustments and after getting used to them, I'm a big fan of them. It's a really fun floor hazard that actually challenges you in a cool way. Right now, the floor hazards are a bit of a mixed bag. Blackouts are super dangerous, to the point where they sometimes feel unfair, and ichor leaks are barely even a problem. I think iced over floors are kind of a good balance between being dangerous and challenging without ever feeling like they're too unfair. I kinda wish they stayed year-round, maybe having a super reduced chance outside of Christmas, but we won't. I'm looking forward to seeing them in the next Christmas event though. The cookies were also items added to the game with Christmas. The cookies are items you can get from Dandy's shop for free every so often. Cookies are an item that when used create a pulse that increases movement speed of allies around you, kind of like Tisha's ability, except the speed boost is a little smaller. I really like the cookies, an item that doesn't buff you and instead buffs allies first, and I'm hoping this will open the door for more items like this to be added to the game. It's just a shame that most people don't wait for the elevator door to open before using them, but that's not a cookie issue, that's a fanbase issue. Part of me wishes they spawned on the floor too, but they look a little too festive, so maybe they'd feel out of place. Perhaps we can get a less festive equivalent later on to spawn on floors and on Dandy's shop. The Advent Calendar was another feature added with the Christmas event, and honestly it was awesome. I love the Advent Calendar, and the 2 skins that were added to it are super cute. The Bobette one especially. I really like the fact that you get more event currency for logging in, since it was a big complaint for people in the Halloween event that it was hard to get the currency for everything. Thanks to the Advent Calendar and playing regularly, I got enough currency for everything even before the last batch of skins released. Although, to be fair, I didn't need to buy any of the tunes, so that definitely sped me up considerably. I hope we get more Advent Calendar type stuff for future events, maybe even adding something with Ichor for the regular game. It would be cool to maybe have a Valentine's Day login, where you get some Ichor and a special skin, since we're probably not getting a full-blown Valentine's event with 4 tunes and stuff. At least getting a login reward with some new skins would be fun. Another thing I enjoyed was the golden skins being added. I like the concept of the golden skins. Skins you can show off to people to show that you've completed a hard challenge is awesome, and all the missions were pretty challenging. Although, it isn't all sunshines and rainbows. It would have been fine if all the quests had to do with skill, like reaching floor 20, healing a bunch of people, or dodging twisteds, but some of them weren't very fun since it was less dependent on skill and more on luck. Rudy had one where he had to witness the new Christmas floor. Not a Christmas floor, the new Christmas floor. Getting to floor 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on is pretty easy, especially on an all-rounder like Rudy, but it's annoying when the new floor only has a 50% chance to show up. If you're unlucky, you could get it just once in a floor 20 run, or maybe not at all. That happened to me once. This mission can take a while purely because you have to get to the new floor, which can be pretty inconsistent depending on your luck. And infamously so, the coal quests. Everyone and their mother knows about the difficulty of the coal quests. Picking up items and getting to floor 10 of our trinket is trivial, really, but oh boy, getting 10 whole twisted coals takes forever. Honestly, the event rares live up to their name, they're quite literally the rarest. Every event I've consistently gotten the rare twisteds research last. As floors go up, rare chance goes down to accommodate for the main chance going up. But it's not just that. The event domain is always guaranteed at floor 20, so it's super easy to get them consistently if you're just good. Meeting Rudy is easy, he's a common, Ginger's a little tougher, but she's an uncommon, so you'll get her pretty fast. And getting 10 Bobettes for Golden Bobette, you just have to do long runs and reach floor 20. But Cole? Twisted Coal doesn't have a pity or a guaranteed spawn, it's just pure chance. You could spend 1 hour on this quest if you're extremely lucky and get 10 coals back to back or something, or you can be like me and spend an entire week trying to find coals. It's made even worse by the fact that I think Golden Coal is definitely the weakest of the 4 skins we got. It looks kinda whatever. They should put that on a t-shirt. I spent all week farming Twisted Coal, and all I got was this lousy skin. Yeah, I hope for the Easter event they tone down the encounters. Having to do this all over again for Golden Cocoa is gonna be hell. Quell did say she might look into critiques, and to be honest, I'd keep the 10 encounters, just give a pity to the rare Twisteds. Maybe it could be an ascending thing, like the common is guaranteed at floor 5, the uncommon at floor 10, the rare at 15, and finally the main at 20. That way everyone would have an easier time getting their research, and getting the golden quest wouldn't feel awful. But speaking of skins, this event also came with dozens of them, and honestly, they're pretty good. Overall, I liked a good chunk of them. There were definitely some misses, but every event has misses. Here's my personal ranking of the skins, let me know your favorites in the comments. With the Christmas event, there was also new merch in the Dandy's World store. Now, I've never bought any merch from Dandy's World before. My first time was actually the Bobette plushie, but it hasn't even arrived, so I cannot speak on their quality, but I can say I like the merch. The Bobette plushie is appreciated as a Bobette fan, and the sweater is super cute. A huge pet peeve I have with some shows or whatever is when the characters have unique clothes and then the merch never capitalizes on just making replicas of the characters' outfits. It's always wasted potential, so I love that they are just straight up selling Bobette's sweater. We also got a new official song, A Perfect Christmas by Milk in a Microwave and Axie. It was pretty good, I really liked it. Honestly, I liked it better than the Halloween one, so that's something. This event was pretty good. The new gameplay elements with the iced overflows and stuff were super fun, to the point where I kept playing for hours even after having already finished everything in the event. I finished the event with more than 10,000 ornaments purely from playing and having fun there. So yeah, this event was a huge success. If Christmas had this much cool content, I'm looking forward to what Easter has to offer in April. Anyway, thanks for listening to me yap about Dandy's World once again. Goodbye.